Melissa Febos' The Dry Season, a memoir of pleasure in a year without sex, is a bold, intimate, and deeply reflective memoir that explores desire, identity, and the meaning of pleasure beyond sexual intimacy. Febos, acclaimed for her lyrical prose and fearless honesty, recounts a year in which she deliberately abstained from sex, not as an act of repression, but as an experiment in self-discovery. Her central thesis is that pleasure is multifaceted, and that by stepping away from sexual encounters, she uncovered new dimensions of joy, creativity, and connection. The book begins with Febos' decision to enter a dry season. She frames it not as a rejection of sexuality, but as a conscious pause, a way to examine her relationship with desire, intimacy, and selfhood. Having written extensively about sex and identity in earlier works, Febos turns inward, asking what pleasure means when stripped of its most obvious form. A major theme is redefining pleasure. Febos explores how pleasure exists in art, nature, friendship, solitude, and creativity. She recounts moments of joy in writing, music, and quiet reflection, illustrating that pleasure is not limited to physical intimacy. This redefinition expands the concept of pleasure, making it more holistic and sustainable. Another theme is self-discovery. Febos uses the dry season to confront patterns in her relationships, dependency, performance, and the pursuit of validation. By abstaining from sex, she disentangles herself from these dynamics, discovering deeper truths about her identity and values. She emphasizes that selfhood is not defined by sexual activity, but by authenticity and integrity. The book also explores cultural narratives about sex. Febos critiques societal pressures that equate sexual activity with fulfillment, adulthood, or liberation. She argues that these narratives can exclude other forms of joy and connection. Her memoir challenges readers to question assumptions about intimacy and to broaden their understanding of pleasure. Another key theme is creativity and art. Febos describes how abstinence sharpened her creative focus. Freed from the distractions of sexual entanglements, she poured energy into writing, producing work with clarity and depth. She suggests that creativity itself is a form of pleasure, one that sustains and transforms. The book also highlights relationships beyond sex. Febos deepens friendships, nurtures family bonds, and cultivates community during her dry season. She emphasizes that intimacy is not limited to sexual encounters, but thrives in shared vulnerability, laughter, and support. Stylistically, Febos writes with lyrical intensity. Her prose is poetic yet precise, blending memoir with cultural critique. She uses vivid imagery and emotional honesty to draw readers into her experience. Her tone is both confessional and philosophical, making the book resonate on personal and intellectual levels. Importantly, Febos reframes abstinence as not deprivation, but liberation. By choosing not to engage in sex, she discovers freedom from expectations, patterns, and pressures. The dry season becomes a fertile space for growth, creativity, and joy. Ultimately, The Dry Season is both memoir and manifesto. It teaches that pleasure is multifaceted, that abstinence can be transformative, and that joy is found in authenticity. Febos' message is clear. Pleasure is not confined to sex. It is woven into every aspect of life.